It's Brad Talks, and I am with Jeremy Wolfe. Now, we're recording at your office, and people are working in the background because you're a busy guy, right?
Yeah. We're here at the Stay Cool Climate Control headquarters right at 407 Saunders Street in O'Fallon, Missouri.
Is this guy a marketer or what? Is this guy, he knows what he's doing. We start off by, when I do these are Brad Talks, and we start off by getting to know you a little bit better, okay? Local guy, right?
Yep, I was born and raised in St. Charles, O'Fallon, Missouri. Grew up in O'Fallon, went to Crossroads Elementary School, Timberland High School. I left for a little bit and then off to college. Did a few semesters at Fort Collins, Colorado State University, and Mizzou. And then I realized college wasn't for me, and that's when I got into the HVAC trade.
Now, let's talk about that for a minute. But first off, let's go back to the high school thing, okay? When you went to high school, was it pushed with the fact that I mean, you're much younger than me, but was it pushed to the fact that, like, when you go to college, because the idea being is that you're a trades guy, and even though I'm a college guy, I'm very much pro trades because of the fact that I truly do think that there is a tremendous need for trade education. And you could probably talk about this all day, right?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, it really wasn't pushed that much. They kind of wanted you to go to that 4-year university. I was pretty good at math and science all through high school, so I guess by default, my teachers figured I'd be good at engineering, and that's kind of the path I started to take, was to be a mechanical engineer. I didn't know much about the trades at all. I was kind of under the impression that if I wanted to make good money in life and I wanted to have a good career, a good home, family, and provide, that I needed to go to college, and that is not the truth.
Well, now, when you went to school, did they have shop classes and things like that, or was that pretty much gone?
They did. We had a woodworking class, and that was it was a fun class. I made a clock. I think that's my biggest takeaway, was we made a clock. They didn't do too many like real life application things. Like, I just wish there was more, like, I don't know. They did teach us the basics, like how to use saws, how to use drills. So I will give that to them, but there wasn't like a machine shop or like welding, and it was mainly just like wood shop.
And no metal at all or anything like that?
No metal. I did take an engineering course. That was for like an advanced engineering class. We had to reverse engineer a pen. That was pretty fun, but the shop class wasn't like a full built out trade program within the school. Like, they actually do have some of that now, though.
Well, and what's interesting about that is you obviously know who Mike Rowe is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
I love Mike Rowe.
Mike Rowe is a huge proponent of this. And quite honestly, the situation I'm in is, because I'm in sort of a little bit of both worlds. I'm a broadcast engineer. I've even told you, this is sort of funny, I have my HVAC rating from the EPA. Which was sort of a thing for me, because going back into broadcasting engineering, back in the day, that was part of the job of a broadcast engineer, to keep the HVAC system working at the transmitter sites.
Yeah, and I know you work on your transmitter sites sometimes yourself, and use skills that you developed in the trade program.
Right, and to the point where I'm a real hands-on guy. I worked on cars all my life and stuff like that.
Yep,
and
I'm the same way.
Well, and the sad part of it is, and I think this is changing, it was to the point where if you were like a tradesperson, if you worked with your hands, people looked down on that.
Unfortunately, I think there's still a little bit of that, but it's definitely getting better. I mean, I'll never forget, I go into some houses after working a long work day, and I got dirt, debris on me, and I'm in a doctor's or attorney's house, and it almost seems like they feel bad for you in a sense, and it's like, oh no, don't feel bad for me. We're all good over here. We're making money and doing things.
Well, and that's the interesting aspect of that. You said in one of our networking groups, you and I are both in the Friday networking group.
Yep.
You said that on a good day, some of your guys can make $500, $600, $700.
Yeah, and they can. The service techs, the installers, I mean, they work their butts off. It's hot, it's humid, it's sweaty. They're providing exceptional customer service. I mean, one of my prior employees a few years back, he got tipped a vehicle, a car.
Really?
It was like a 2004 Buick LeSabre. The guy's like, hey, this thing's been sitting in my backyard. If you get it out of here, it's yours. Clean title, needed a new battery, had like 90,000 miles on it. I'm like, dude, that's like a $4,000 or $5,000 car.
Oh, kidding.
Just gave it to him.
Right.
And but I mean, getting back to your point, yeah, these guys, we pay very well because the work is very hard and they're highly skilled. And I just think that it needs to be talked about a lot more because people, I mean, I was under the impression that if I wanted to make over six figures, I had to go to college. That's just not the case, especially with some of these guys that are specialized in the trades, and with the equipment getting more and more advanced, you have to have a specialized skill set that not a lot of people have. And as the tradesmen start going away and the demand gets higher, they can kind of name their price for things. And
Well, let's go back to how you got into HVAC. How did you start? Did you go to like a tech school or something like that?
I was going to Mizzou and going to study engineering, and then one day I realized I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in an office every day working on a piece of a design that might take multiple years to develop, and I wanted to do something else. So I left there and then kind of went back to my parents' house. They're like kind of freaking out. What are you gonna do? You just kind of threw away. I was an honor student in high school, had really good grades, and I took school seriously because I thought that's what I needed to do to be successful in life. And then once I left, they definitely just didn't expect that. It was kind of a curveball. So I was talking to my mom and dad, and my dad's like, well, you are hands-on. I grew up racing motocross. I got my first dirt bike when I was 5 years old. My parents, they did spoil us, but they also taught us a lot of valuable skills working on those bikes. We practiced, we raced competitively. So when you race motorsports, things break, and when they break, you have to fix them. That's where I kind of got my hands-on aptitude from my dad, just working on things in the garage. And then at one point, I was back at home, and he's like, hey, what are you gonna do, man? You can't just hang out and ride motorcycles all day in my house. You need to get a job. And so that's when I started talking to him, and he's like, well, I know this guy, he works on our AC unit. I mean, he's here for 30 minutes and I have to pay him $400. Like, obviously something's going on over in that trade. It's probably a good option. And we visited American Trade School together. And whenever I went to American Trade School, we went through the shop class, we went through the classrooms, I talked to the teacher, and kind of just thought it would be a good fit. So I tell people I kind of just did it to check a box, but at the same time, once I was in that school, I knew like this is for me. It involved all things I'm interested in, math, science. There's a lot of science in heating and cooling in terms of like BTU removal, latent heat, sensible heat, just how the units work. We're taking a liquid, converting it to a gas so it can absorb heat. Then we transfer it back to a liquid so it can reject the heat. And that's the part that really just gets me going, because you have a sealed system that basically recycles energy over and over and over using the same refrigerant to cool these houses. And it's very interesting to me. So once I got into the trade, I don't like to do things I guess for lack of a better term, half-assed. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it and try to be the best at it. So I just spent my nights, weekends, all my free time researching how to be the best technician I could. And that it paid off. I started fixing units for friends and family members. And then during COVID, that's when before COVID, I had all my licensing kind of ready to go. I was working nights, weekends during my free time to try to get licensing, insurance, start building the brand, coming up with different, that's when we came up with the Talk About Us referral program and all this other stuff. And then they announced the stay-at-home order during COVID. I figured that was the best time to launch the business. Everyone's home. They got some time on their hands. If their AC or furnace isn't working, they're going to know, because now they're not at work 40 hours a week. They're at home those 40 hours a week, and they want their stuff working right. So it ended up being a blessing in disguise, because 21, 22, 23 were probably some of the best years in the trades historically ever in terms of like growth year over year.
Interesting. Now, so you started, when did you officially open? Is there a day where you can say this is when we started Stay Cool?
Yeah, so there is a date. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It was the same day they announced the stay-at-home order in St. Charles County. I believe it was like, I want to say March 20th of 2020, or give or take a day or two. But basically my thought process was, well, they're going to shut this whole county down, And when they do that, people are now using Facebook as a media source. So I launched the Facebook page, the website, and just told everyone, hey, this is now my full-time gig. Stay Cool Climate Control is a residential heating, cooling, ventilation company, and we're here to serve. That was the first days of us launching the business, was right around the same day they announced the stay-at-home order.
And you were employee number one.
Yeah. Yep. It was the one and only employee. I actually worked a deal with my old boss because I was his top guy. So he kind of allowed me to stay on the team while I was doing my own thing whenever we had breaks. And that really helped kind of jumpstart it, because people think that they just want to start a company from scratch, which is great, but you still have to have income coming in. You can't just quit cold turkey and then expect to start making money right away. And you experience issues if you do that. So it ended up working out really well, though.
So today, you've got your company, you've got some of your family that works with you as well.
Yeah, right now, my brother Carter works with me. He is our business manager operations. He handles the day-to-day operations of the business, pretty much kind of the main point of contact. If you got a question, Carter knows the answer.
And you're running several crews.
We have 4 amazing service technicians. I put them against anyone in this industry. They're phenomenal. And then we have 3 install crews we're running this summer. So we have 3 lead installers, 4 apprentices in training, sales manager, a few ladies in the office, marketing coordinator, HR, bookkeeping, and then we have a success manager that she's been in the industry a very long time and just helps us kind of navigate through troubled water sometimes and gives us really good guidance on what to look out for, what we should be doing.
So you've come pretty far in 6 years.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. It has its ups and downs. Some days are a lot funner than others, but it's all worth it in the end.
Well, now let me give you a compliment in one respect, is that I deal with a lot of different companies, and you see different aspects of different industries and things like that. And a lot of guys who start off in, like, for example, your field, HVAC or electrical work, are plumbers. They're good at plumbing and they're good at HVAC and they're good at electrical, but they're not good at marketing. And you're a pretty damn good marketer.
Yeah, I like marketing. That's one thing that I always hear from other business owners and just people kind of giving guidance, like, do the things you like to do and that you're good at. And I love marketing, and I do think I'm pretty good at just kind of, I like to say, disturbing people's thought process. That's kind of where the Talk About Us free taco program came from, because you have all these companies. In O'Fallon, there's over 300 HVAC companies. And how do you stand out in all the mix of different companies? What sets you apart? So when I think of marketing, I think of branding and building a brand that sticks out. And we actually just left our networking group, and everyone in there knows us, or knows me as the taco guy.
Right.
Which is great, because we have the tacos on our trucks. We have them on our billboards, our business cards, all of our social media. So people start to correlate this taco with AC, heating and cooling. And at that point, now that every time they go to their favorite Mexican restaurant, they can't help but think about it.
Well, and the interesting thing was, you were brought up in the meeting today, is the fact that when you walk in the room, and you were late for the meeting, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
You walk in and Doug, who is doing his educational moment, says, that guy, everybody knows what he does. And it's true, because they do, because you stand out in that group.
Yeah, no, it couldn't have been better timing. I was a few minutes late trying to sneak in, and then Doug called me out.
Right.
It ended up working out great. I'll always take the recognition, and that's my biggest thing is, like, and I didn't coin this phrase, I've heard it from other people, but it's like who you are and what you do. If people don't know who you are and they don't know what you do, then how can they use you as a service?
This has gone by real quick. Before we finish it, contact information, people want to contact you. And obviously, if they're having HVAC problems, they want to contact you.
Yeah, so contacting me personally, the best way would be to reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram at Jeremy Wolfe. Wolfe has an E at the end of it, spelled like the animal. And then as far as the business goes, you can contact us at 636-542-8600, staycoolclimatecontrol.com, on all social media platforms as Stay Cool Climate Control. We love putting out content on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're starting to do a lot of funny videos. We did one any other day that's getting ready to drop soon. And we want to have fun. We want to provide the best customer service possible in the St. Charles County area. And at the end of the day, we want Stay Cool Climate Control to be the top dog in the HVAC world. And I think that's kind of what we're gunning for.
And you're not selling out to those corporate guys, right?
Oh, no. Nope. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. Me and my brother are young in the trade, and we're hungry to keep growing the business. And at the end of the day, as long as we keep having fun, we're not going to do anything anytime soon.
Jeremy, Wolfe, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad.